Boy, howdy. Today, we're going up. Up, up, up. Okay, so today in Provost Park Pass, we did a video where we talked to show all the secrets down on the ground. And at the end of that video, I said, if you want to see the secrets up high, type in the word north and like the video. What? You did not disappoint. Look at all these north. So because of that, I'm now going to do a video of all the things that way up high in the sky at Disneyland. Hidden secrets, hidden messages, hidden things. Let's look up. All right, so let's get started today in Adventureland and look up in Adventureland. Okay, so one of the most requested things you get about looking up is on this attraction here. It is the Eeyore parking lot sign. Everybody's like, show that sign, show that sign, show the sign. All right, so here's the thing. I'm gonna show you guys that sign, but the only way to see it is if you have a cast member with a flashlight who's gonna show it to you. But you gotta look up. When you're waiting in line, you know the part where the Sala is giving you the instructions. Get right to the front, you turn, flashlight up, you can see the parking lot sign. Everyone wants to see the Eeyore sign. There is the Eeyore sign, guys. You see the Eeyore sign? Oh my gosh, that's the old parking Eeyore sign. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go into the tropical hideaway and look up, guys, because there's something special here. All right, you know in the tiki room at the halfway this show when they introduce the girl birds. There's like Gigi, Fifi, Colette, Suzette, you know all of them. Well, if you want to know where they live, I'll show you. Their house is right there. All right, so if you look right up there, you can see the home. Zoom in, there's Mimi, Fifi, Gigi, Colette, Suzette, and right over there is Josephine. Now you know where the girl birds live. Look up. Let's look up in Frontierland. Okay, so when you first come into Frontierland, you're gonna see it's the Westward Trading Ho Company, right over here. Westward Ho Trading Co. Whatever I said, I might have said that wrong. But if you look up at the roof, that's what's important. So you can see on top of the roof there, you see these antlers. In one video, I called them horns. And people are like, there are not horns. I did not know that they are called antlers. The reason there are antlers there is because in the olden days, cowboys, most of them were literate and they couldn't read. So they couldn't read that sign that said Westward Ho Trading Co. But they knew if there's antlers on top of the roof, that meant you could trade there and trade for goods. So that's how they would communicate to people who couldn't read that this is a general store. What? Antlers. This is the Golden Horseshoe Review. Now why I'm showing you this, do you see that horseshoe right there? Do you see how it's like this, like the letter U? That means good luck. It means it's holding good luck. Now, if you have a horseshoe that's tipped upside down, that's a sign of bad luck. And that comes into play in just a few seconds. Okay, so the next attraction we want to look up at is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And coming back to the horseshoes. Remember, if a horseshoe is like this, it's holding good luck. If it's turned upside down like the letter N, that's bad luck. Well, when you're riding this ride, the first mining tunnel that you go into, right as you go in, you're gonna see a horseshoe. It's faced like this, like the letter U, which means it's gonna be okay. But then, when you go into the blasting cave, right as you're about to enter the blasting cave, the horseshoe is what? It is upside down. No! That means it's bad luck. Don't go in there. And you shouldn't go in there because they're gonna be blasting. Another thing to look up is the possums. You realize that there are possums above a branch and they're spinning around? Usually it's going so fast that you don't even see it. What? Possums! All right, next part of this video, looking up, it's gonna be in New Orleans Square. And oh man, I can do videos. That's right, plural, of things to look up in New Orleans Square. There's so much to see here. I mean, literally, there's just so much to see when you look up here in New Orleans Square, but I'm gonna try to do the highlights of some of the best things to look up. All right, so right behind me, you're gonna see this railing. If you look carefully at this railing, you see the gold parts here, boom, boom. Well, if you look over here and look very closely at them, it's an RD and a WD for Walt Disney and Roy Disney, Walt Disney's brother. This is the WD, and then right over here is the RD for Roy Disney. Special railing. When they were designing New Orleans Square, Walt really wanted it to be authentic, and one of the things that they went down and found was fire insurance plaques. What? Yeah, fire insurance plaques. How it worked back in the day was you would buy a plaque and put it on your house down in New Orleans. And if your house caught on fire, the fire department would come out to your house. If they had a plaque, they would work really hard to get that fire out because you paid for fire insurance. If they got out to your house and there was no plaque, then they really wouldn't work that hard to put your fire out. Well, when they were scavenging and trying to find authentic souvenirs to put here in New Orleans Square, they found 6 fire plaques, and they were put up high in these buildings. I'm gonna show you all 6 of these fire plaques so you can see them. What? 6 fire plaques? Look up. The first fire plaque is right as you come out the exit of Pirates Caribbean. Look right there and look up. You can see this little plaque. Boom. That is a fire insurance plaque. You see the FI on it? Stands for fire insurance. Yeah. The next plaque is at the exit of Blue Bayou. You're gonna look over there and see a building that says 35 on it. And if you look up, you can see a little fire pump up there. There it is. Plaque number 2, fire insurance plaque right there. The number 3 plaque is right behind me at the French Market, right there. Fire insurance plaque. There it is right there. The 4th fire plaque is right behind me here at Cafe Orleans. It's right there in the corner. You see it? It's right up there, tucked up by the light. The next plaque, it's right across the street from Pieces of 8, right there. It's kind of hidden right now because they have a little marionette doll up there, but it's right up there behind that doll. You can see the plaque right there behind the Jester doll. All right, so the next one is like right across the street from the restrooms. So you look right up there, boom. This is the most weathered fire insurance plaque that there is. It's right there. What? Also in New Orleans Square, right as you come out of the restroom, you can see a little sign painted up high. It says, "The Masquerade d'Orleans." Now, if you notice carefully, if you look carefully, you see a lady in a bonnet with a bonnet hat. Nice little bonnet hat right there, that's cute. The reason that's important is because when you enter the store, there's a light. There's the entrance to the store to La Masquerade d'Orleans, La Masquerade d'Orleans. And what do you see? You see a light with a bonnet, and the head was where the head would be is actually a giant light bulb. How cool is that? It matches the painting on the wall. All right, we're still looking up in New Orleans. Right out here, there's a hallway there. If you look up, you see a poster. There's your poster. I don't know, it's in French, like Ox Belets, Chamon, Jules. I don't know what it is, but if you watch the show Friends on television, Monica and Rachel, they have this exact same poster in their apartment. There are so many hidden things in New Orleans Square to look up at. I feel like I could do just a whole video on that, but I'm trying to like balance it out, so I'm only gonna show you one more New Orleans Square, and then we'll move on to a new land. Right here at the exit, the Pieces of 8, you're gonna see 3 flags right up there. You got a Spanish flag, a French flag, and an American flag. The reason you have all 3 flags is New Orleans was under the leadership of all 3 of those countries at one point. It was underneath Spain, it was underneath France, and underneath the United States. Hence, all 3 flags. The more you know. For our 3rd and final Provost Park Pass Present organization, we are highlighting the Compassionate Friends. This is one that means a lot to me, and I personally selected this one. Did you know that over 11% of Americans have suffered the loss of a child? This means that there are over 38 million parents in the United States who are suffering the grief of losing a child. The Compassionate Friends is a nonprofit organization to help those parents with their grieving process. The Compassionate Friends will help with the grieving process of any parent, no matter the age of the child or the cause of that child's death. Not only do they help parents, they help grandparents and siblings of the child. The Compassionate Friends organization has over 550 grief support groups. They are represented in almost every major city in the United States and even in Washington, D.C. The Compassionate Friends organization has over 3,000 volunteers. They provide grief counseling, they help with funerals, they help with education of professionals, law enforcement, medical doctors. They provide bereavement packages to families who've recently lost a child. They perform an annual Walk to Remember on the 2nd Sunday of December every year to allow families to reminisce and remember their loved one. They provide a quarterly grief support magazine called We Need Not Walk Alone. I'm going to put the link down below if you would like to donate to this wonderful cause. Okay. Back to the video. For this next part of the lookup video, we need to go into Critter Country. What? This is just kind of cool. Guys, you know the name of that hill is called Chickapin Hill. It's 87 feet tall. Chickapin Hill. I don't know, that's not that impressive, but I think it's kind of cool to look up at it. Let's go find some other cool things to look up at here in Critter Country. All right, for this next part we gotta look up, we gotta be here at the Winnie the Pooh attraction. What? Yeah, you gotta look up here in this attraction. When you're riding Winnie the Pooh, you're gonna see that there's a part we go through the Heffalumpa-halooza, like nightmare or dream scenario. Right as you come out of that, if you're driving the vehicle, if you look out of your vehicle backwards and then up, you can see Max, Buff, and Melvin, the three like stuffed mounted heads from the Country Bear Jamboree. They're right up there. It's kind of hard to see them sometimes because it's dark, so yeah, I don't know. Good luck. So I'm back here by Pooh Corner, and you want to look up here, you're going to see Kanga's and Rue's mailboxes up on the roof, right up here. I'll show you. So there's the entrance or exit to Pooh Corner, and walk over here. If you look up on the roof, you can see a little thing that says Mr. Saunders right there, and then you can see the mailboxes for Kanga and Rue. Before there was Winnie the Pooh down here, when it was Bear Country, they had, it was called Teddy Barra's Swinging Arcade and the Mile Long Bar. So we go in, you can buy like warm pretzels, and they had some like arcade games you could play. But as an old throwback, they have it written right up here on the roof. It still says Teddy Barra's Swinging Arcade. All right, so let's leave Critter Country now and go into Batuu, Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Land. What do you guys call it? I mean, I guess technically it is Galaxy's Edge, right? But I call it Batuu. I call it mostly Star Wars Land. Let's go to Star Wars Land and let's look up. Here we are in front of Rise of the Resistance, and you can see this right here. This is a turret gun. Now, of course, most Star Wars people know this is a turret gun, but you look at it, it's really inspired from the turret guns from Empire Strikes Back on the Battle of Hoth. You see guns like this, you know, but they're painted white there, and they're like slipping around, moving around, shooting at the AT-ATs approaching. But they have them here too. I think they're super cool. That way when your kids walk by, you're like, hey, check out that turret gun. I did that with Miles. Miles was like, what? It's a gun? I'm like, yeah. Star Wars is great and it's fantastic, and all started with the original trilogy that was released in 1977, Star Wars A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, which was released in 1980, and then Return of the Jedi, released in 1983. There is on this ship some craters, containers, not craters, crates. On this ship there are some crates, and they have numbers on them to signify the years that those films were released. If you zoom in on that, let's zoom in, and what do you see? You see three numbers. 77, 80, and 83. 1977 for Star Wars New Hope, 1980 for Empire Strikes Back, and 1983 for Return of the Jedi. What? All right, let me just wax nostalgia for just a second. This is not like any Disney-related stuff, but it's just a good memory I like to share. When Star Wars came out in 1977, they then re-released it in 1980, right ahead of Empire Strikes Back. And my mom took me, I was very little at that time, she took me to go see Star Wars. It was on a school night. We went to see it, and we watched the 7 o'clock show. When the movie ended, my mom was like, hey, you know what? Let's just stay and watch it again. Because my mom loves Star Wars. And I didn't know that. I was like, well, can we do that? The theater's completely empty. We stayed and watched Star Wars again, back to back. And I remember going like way past my bedtime. I was like, I can't believe I'm up so late for Star Wars. Such a good memory. Thank you, Mom, for doing that. I'll never forget that. Okay, so this next part of looking in, we're going to kind of walk into like this little area here in, what is it, Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Land, Batuu, whatever you want to talk about it. And over here, you're going to see all these droid things. Let's take a look at it, because there's a lot to see over here. You can see that there's a probe droid. You see that in Empire Strikes Back. It's in a net there. And if you look up, you can see the lanterns. They are made out of like R2 units and like astromech droids' heads. Boop, 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 boop. But that's not my favorite thing. I'll show you that in just a second. There you can see the astromech droids. They've made the lamps there for the, that's so cool. But here's my favorite thing. You see that probe droid, but look up at this. You can see some wiring going along here, and the wiring has been shot with a blaster bolt, and it singed it and has frayed that wiring right there. I love that attention to detail. But I mean, this is way up high. You have to look up really high to see it. Blaster bolts. Only Imperial troops can be so precise. Okay, so let's now go into Fantasyland and look, you know, up. So right here, I am in front of the Disneyland castle. I'm gonna walk in, and we're gonna go to Fantasyland. Now, what do a lot of these Fantasyland rides and attractions have in common? They're fairy tales. And what do fairy tales? They have a recurring theme throughout most fairy tales. And what is that? Time, like running out of time, having a curfew, growing old. A lot of it is based around time. So in Fantasyland, there are more clocks than any other land. I'll show you the clocks. As you enter into the castle, right across the bridge of the castle, you're gonna look up and you see your first clock right there. Now this clock doesn't actually work and it changes the times, but the people have all kinds of significance. Like, what does that time mean? What is the time? It's just the custodial staff. When they clean and dust it, they just move those arms to whichever time they feel like doing. Right now, this clock is set for midnight. The next clock that you want to see, you have to look up to see, is this one over here. Right above the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, you can see another clock right over here. And then, if you look over here to Peter Pan, look up and what do you see? Another clock. You gotta look up though, guys. You gotta look up to see those clocks. Pinocchio. What was Geppetto? Geppetto was a wood carver and a toy maker. So if you look up the top, what do you see? You see a toy carved out of wood. If you look carefully, you can even see the nicks of the wood where he carved it. Behind me is the King Arthur Carousel. I did a whole video all about the shields and flags about that. There's a mistake on one of those shields and flags. Well, you have to look up to see it. I'm not gonna tell you in this video what the mistake is. You have to watch this video over here to see that. But there's a mistake right there. In Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, in the book, there's only one fireplace in the whole manor. In Toad's Manor, only one fireplace. But yet, Toad's Hall, it has 7, that's right, 7 chimneys. What? You gotta look up to see those chimneys though. Okay, so now I'm gonna go down from Fantasyland down to It's a Small World. Yes, I know It's a Small World is still part of Fantasyland, but you know, in my mind, it's kind of like different, separate. I don't know, am I the only one that thinks like that? I always think of Fantasyland and then It's a Small World. Let's go down to It's a Small World and look up. It's a Small World is classic. It is awesome. I love it. Now, the exterior was the design inspired by Mary Blair. She came up with this all amazing idea. Now, what is the name of the ride? Attraction, excuse me. What is the name of the attraction? It's a Small World. So when you look at the facade and you look up, you're gonna see different landmarks from around the world. So here is the exterior of It's a Small World. Let's kind of go through this. Now, a lot of times people over here, they attribute that to being Big Ben. It is not Big Ben. Now, really, actually, that's not, if you're people in the UK right now, like, Big Ben, it's the Elizabethan Tower. I know it is. If I said that, nobody would know what I'm talking about. Big Ben is inside. But right here, you have the Leaning Tower of Pisa, okay? Then right over here, you've got the Taj Mahal. Then right over here, you've got the Statue of Liberty. Eiffel Tower, not the Statue of Liberty. I don't know what my brain just did there. There you go. But there's some stuff that's hidden right behind the center thing, so I'm gonna go around on the other side because you can't see it or this. So I'm gonna go around the other side to show you even more. Statue of Liberty. I'm a knucklehead, I know it, I can't help it. All right, so continue on. We have behind me the continue on the facade of It's a Small World. So now you can see it from this side. Let me show you some other things to look up and see. Right in the center, you can see like a little, it's like a windmill where they turns. That's for like Dutch, you know, Holland, they have the windmill. This is one that most people don't even recognize. It's behind it. If you look right here, you have the columns from Greece, right there. The Greece columns, see that? And they go right up to that little pyramid. What's that for, like, oh, it was Acropolis, I think, down in Greece, the Greek columns. But you gotta look up and behind to see that one. Next area to look up, let's go into Toontown. Toontown. We're gonna go to the wacky world of Mickey's Toontown and look up. So these next 3 things I'm gonna show you in Toontown aren't really difficult to spot, but a lot of times we're just walking by so fast we don't even realize that they're there. So let me show you 3 cool things to look up for in Toontown. Right behind me, this is like Goofy's Frozen Treat Shack, and it's all done with like sports themes, all different types of sports. You see like an oar and things like that. But you gotta look up and you can see a basketball that's deflated by a javelin. Here's a little trailer. They got like a little hockey stick. You see like the hockey puck and an oar and a basketball standard. But if you look all the way up, what are you gonna see? You're gonna see a javelin poking up. And what's on the javelin? A basketball. It's been pierced. Poor basketball. It's deflated. The next thing we gotta look up at is Goofy's house. Now, this has still been closed because of, you know, how the world changed with everything that's going on. They have not reopened it yet. Miles asked every time we come here, have they reopened Goofy's? They haven't. But you want to look at the roof of Goofy's Playhouse. There's Goofy's house. You look all the way up to the roof, and what do you see on top of the roof? Goofy's green hat. Just chilling up there. Here's a different angle of Goofy's house, just so you can see that amazing green hat all the way up there. Boom, pow, there it is. Behind me here, Toontown, we got Donald's boat. Donald's boat. You want to look up and see he's actually, Donald is very conscientious and always wants to have clean clothes. What? There, if you look all the way up the top, what do you see? See, Donald's done some laundry. You got his shirt up there and his little hat. Donald always having the clean clothes. Okay, I get in the groove and I'm like, okay, I've showed enough. So I want to balance out the lands and make sure each land gets something. But I got to show another cool thing in Toontown that you got to look up and see. It's crazy. It's at Goofy's house. Right there. What is that? You look up here at Goofy's house, you're going to see it's like a rolling pin handle. Then you start looking at the rolling pin, and it's like 4 feet long with no handle at the other end, and it's nailed to the roof to hold a bucket. Who would have a 4-foot rolling pin with only one handle? Goofy. Now, let's go into Tomorrowland and look up. It's just amazing to me how much attention to detail Disney does in all their lands. And some of the lands, I feel like they're really like overloaded them. Like, there was like so many. New Orleans Square, there's so many details up high. It's amazing. Toontown actually has a ton as well. There's a lot. Tomorrowland, not quite as many, but you know, we can't win them all. Anyways, I didn't want to like overload just this video of just Toontown and New Orleans Square. Trying to spread the love to each land and looking up. So now, let's go into Tomorrowland. All right, let's go into Tomorrowland and look up. That's right, I actually did a whole video about the secret reveals of Astro Blasters. But if you look here, if you look up at this, all the way very top, the very top, all the way up there, you can see it spins. It spins independent of the ride. So when the ride stops, see that top part there that's spinning? That also sometimes keeps spinning. It's really cool. It's called the atomic clock. Tomorrowland is one of the prettiest lands at nighttime to look up at because all those neon lights and stuff like that looks good. Let's see what else, what other little treasures there are to look up here at Tomorrowland. Right behind me is a Star Tours sign. If you want to look above that, you'll see something etched in the sign. If you look right above the sign, it's kind of etched in there. It says, from the creative forces of Disney and George Lucas. George Lucas' name is right there. When Star Tours first opened up, it was a Star Speeder 3000. Then when they redid it, they actually went back and changed it to the Star Speeder 1000, which means they had to repaint all these murals. Right there, you can see they've repainted it, so they now say Star Speeder 1000. They used to say 3000, but not anymore. Now you gotta look up when you come out the exit of Space Mountain. Look up at this sign right here. There used to be an arcade. You walk in right that door here, and they called it the Starcade. So you see that they still have the sign up there that says Starcade. I love that sign. I hope they never take it down. It's still there, but it hasn't been. This arcade hasn't been there for years and years now, but they've kept the sign. Now, some of the kids might be asking, what the heck is an arcade? Yeah, can you believe this? This is where a place that kids would go to play video games. Yeah, they would. They'd go to an arcade to play video games, and they'd have to put in a quarter in order to play. Yeah, I know, you guys just do that on your phones now or for free at your home. But they would go to arcades, and this is called the Starcade, and it was the coolest arcade. They've kept the sign there, though. I love that sign. Okay, so here I am. I'm at the exit to Star Tours, and if you look up, you can see passengers getting ready to board Star Tours right in the gift shop. Okay, now we're headed over to Main Street. I know a lot of you are like, you haven't done Main Street yet. I did a whole video on a bunch of windows and what they mean and who they are. I'll put that over here, whatever. I don't know how that works. And I put a video over there and you can look at the Main Street windows. I haven't even got over to Disney California Adventureland because there's so much. There's still even more to do here in Disneyland. But I just appreciate you guys spending a little bit of your time with me. Here's the deal. I'll make a deal with you. Let's make a deal. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want a video of all the cool things hidden at Disney California Adventure, type in UP, UP, as in the movie Up. It's a Pixar movie, Pixar Pier. See, I've tied that all together. Just do that and I will make a video of all the cool things hidden in Disney California Adventure. Type in UP. Oh, also maybe hit the subscribe button. That also helps support our channel. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for spending time with me and looking up with me.